Well, hello to all the scale modelers out there. I'm Scott Hards, the founder and chairman of HobbyLink Japan, and as usual, I'm here today with
Brian Caney here at Beaver Corporation.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
All right, man. And yourself?
I am good. I am good. Still wearing a mask when I'm not on camera, but
Yeah, we got my mask right here. It goes like this, right? Yeah. Better masks.
and we are about to do the fourth episode that we've done of our new HobbyWire podcast or videocast or YouTube video or whatever you call these things these days. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about here today, so we should probably dive right in. But hopefully, the next time we do this, we won't have to do this social distancing thing. Maybe we could actually sit next to each other.
Kind of almost done with it. Seems to be okay here. Might be able to take a chance and be in the same room together, perhaps.
Yeah. Depending on what country you happen to be in, there's definitely a lot of places in the world that still need to be extra super cautious about what's happening. But fortunately, here in Japan, we're at a very low level of infection right now, and people are starting to relax. But
Yes.
who knows when this will end?
Yes.
And who knows when we'll be able to have regular hobby shows again? What's the latest on the fall show? Do we know what's happening?
Yeah,
there?
I just called the Kyokai. What is that? The coalition of hobby magnates, whatever it is.
Or whatever. Yeah, some Japanese cartel that
Yes,
sets those
exactly.
things up. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave them a call the other day, and they said, you know what? We're still, as far as they're concerned, it's still green to go. It's supposed to be at the end of November, the November
Okay.
27th, 29th. They said they're just going to have to play it by ear for now, and can't make any
Right.
decisions really until they see how it's going. It's 6 months away now, but right now they're optimistic about doing it. So they just told me to keep planning on having the show.
That's not unlike the news I hear from the UK for International Scale Model World. Is that the correct name of that?
Scale Model World,
They've
yeah.
basically have decided to not decide yet as to whether they'll be having their show also in November.
Right.
But of course we can hope.
Right,
So
yeah.
maybe if everybody just stays safe and quarantines, this thing will just go away. But
away.
we might be being a
Hard to
little too
get it out.
optimistic.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. How about you start this week, sir? What
Okay.
we've got?
Okay. I got some good stuff here. We'll start with some aircraft stuff. I know you're more of a wingy thingy kind of guy. So
Oh, yes.
what we have here from our good partners, Edward of the Czech Republic, or Czechia, I think is the other name we call it now, Czechia, the Czech Republic. Anyway, this is a very cool kit in 1/32 scale, so it's a big scale kit. Need to back up maybe, get in the camera there, of the
BF-108.
BF-108 Typhoon. I guess in German it's Typhoon. Typhoon? Typhoon.
The wings and the tail kind of look like a BF-109, but they're totally different airplanes.
Yeah,
right?
totally different, but you can certainly see the DNA going that way. Yeah, this plane was
Yeah.
developed in, I think 1934 for some sort of a competition, which I wrote down somewhere, the Challenge International de Tourisme. I don't know what the pronunciation is correct there. So yeah, it was like a civilian aircraft. And then as happens in wartime, the Luftwaffe took over, took some of these aircraft in World War II, used them for personnel transports and liaison aircraft. It was never a combat aircraft.
Right.
But yeah, it's a kind of a cool looking thing. It had a lot of interesting camouflage designs. I think I can show you folks at home there some different things.
This is the first time the BF-108 has ever seen the 32nd scale.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Edward has a 48th scale kit of the 109. I'm just trying to find some representative. Well, sorry, yes, that's right, the 108. The DNA was getting me.
Yeah.
Maybe you can kind of see. We got here. They have this funky translucent poly bags that are stuff in there now. But it's 109 size-ish, as I guess the DNA would indicate there. But yeah. It's a good all new tooling, all completely new tooling. Well, you can check out the wingspan on there, so it's decent.
Yeah, that's pretty good size.
Yeah. And now it's a Profi Pack kit, so that means you get some stuff in here. You get some resin parts. Oh, it's got resin propellers. It's got a resin propeller in there. Mm-hmm. It's got a nice photo etch set here, which has got.
Well, it's Edward. I would expect nothing less.
Yeah, and it's got masks too. So this is interesting because it comes with all this stuff in there, and you can also buy a pile of aftermarket parts for it too, which would make it even better.
Holy cow! That's a lot of aftermarket parts.
Yeah, we got two different styles of wheels, spoked, non-spoked wheels here. We've got wait a minute, that's the propeller. I showed you the wrong thing. There's another etching. This etching set is not duplicated in the kit, so this would add to the etching that you already have in there. The wheels are completely different. We've got That's the propeller again. We've got the spokes and the non-spokes. And then we've got Edwards' new series. Well, it's been out for about a year now. These Luke, basically pre-done. We on there? Mm-hmm. Pre-done instrument panels that you basically just put in there. They look absolutely realistic, and some seat belts and masks for the canopy. But I think the kit already has masks. And I was showing you that resin propeller. It seems to already include the propeller too. So. Consult with your dealer before you purchase all these sets.
So that's a lot of accessories. How much would all that set you back?
Well, the full phalanx of etching sets and all that would be 9,100 yen. 9,100. And the kit itself...
I'm guessing 6, it's not 9,100 yen. Okay.
6,300 yen for the basic kit, and then an extra 9,100 yen to get all the goodies. But yeah, this is a cool kit in 1/32. And I was going to show you the... Japan also flew this aircraft, but this one doesn't seem to come with any Japanese markings. It seems to be all German stuff. So,
okay.
Luftwaffe. So there you go. BF 109, not 109, 108, Typhoon, 1/32 scale. What you got, Scott?
Well, I could jump into a 1/32 scale aircraft of my own, but I'm going to mix things up, and I'm going to start with, the elephant in the room. We've got the brand new Tamiya Kv-1.
Ooh, nice.
Is now out. Now, the Kv-1 is, of course, one of the iconic tanks of World War II. I don't need to go into a long recitation of the facts from Wikipedia, of course, because anybody who's interested in scale models probably has some of the basics of Kv-1s. But the most important thing to know is that there are really, at this point, no definitive kits of the Kv-1. Tamiya themselves has the Kv-1B, but that thing's 40 years old or something?
Yeah, it's been out a while.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's a couple of other Kv-1s in 35th scale on the market, but I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say this is absolutely the one that you're going to want to build if you're in the market for a Kv-1. Now, I thought it was interesting. The box is rather thin for a tank kit these days, right. And when I popped the lid, my initial impression was, oh my gosh, they forgot to put the hull part in. Because almost all tank kits these days come with a single piece,
most of them do,
pretty much preformed hull part. With this kit, you need to build the hull yourself. There's 4 parts here. I'll hold it up so Brian can see it as well. Like so you have got to build your own little box to start out the hull. But other than that, there's really not a lot of parts here. It's a pretty straightforward kit. It's link and length tracks, which will, of course, music to the ears of a lot of modelers. And more music to the ears of modelers is in order to accurately duplicate, the sagginess on the return rollers. Right. Here, the link and length tracks are pre-saggied.
Pre-sagged, yes.
Maybe I need to study my language. They're wavy. From the get-go on the frame. So you can accurately reproduce the sag of the tracks on the return rollers without having to go through a lot of crazy high-level modeling techniques there. Not much else to say about this except it looks like it would be a very straightforward, easy-to-build kit. And, of course, it's Tamiya. So what else do I need to say?
Easy to build, good detail, ready to go.
Yep. So, of course, we're expecting they'll probably base a KV-2. New KV-2 release on
Personally,
this.
I like the KV-2 because with that big old loggerhead up there.
I've often wondered. I mean, that thing just seems to be. I don't want to digress too much, but the KV-2 with that huge turret is just like begging to be shot. I mean, it's like there's nothing inconspicuous about that thing. Yeah.
And also, if it was on a slight incline, it couldn't traverse because of the weight of the turret. Geek.
Oh, really?
Stuck. Yeah. They tried.
I did not know that. Interesting piece of World War II trivia. Thank you for that.
Yep.
So that's the all-new Tamiya Kv-1.
Sweet. I look forward to building that one. Okay, well, tanks. Speaking of more tanks, this one probably is close to Scott's heart. It's another Jagdtiger.
Yes.
You just got done building a fine.
I spent 3 months with a Jagdtiger. Yes.
Yeah, that was excellent. And this is also from Takom, as was the one Scott built. And it's also a Blitz kit, which means low parts count, high detail, and not a crazy price. It's only 5,800 yen for this big boy. And what's different about this one? Well, if you look closely at the suspension, show everybody there. This one is one of the early ones. This is the Porsche Suspension type. Depending on what sources you look at, either 10 or 12. The very first Jagdtigers that rolled off the assembly line rolled off on the Porsche suspension, which they had laying around. I don't know. They had it, so they used it there. So yeah, other than that, it's basically the same tank as what you built, or the tank killer that Scott built.
For those of you who don't know what Brian is talking about, we have another podcast called Boss Builds, where since March I have been building the Yak Tiger from Blitz by Tacom, and have just recently completed it. So check that out separately if you're interested in watching me put one of those together.
Wonderful job, too. Wonderful job.
TLDR, it's a great kit. Buy it, build it.
Yep. And here's the aforementioned tub you were talking about. This is,
Yeah. That's what you usually expect to see.
This kit, these are the new sprues. This is the Porsche suspension parts. You can see on here. It's a lot less wheels than on the Henschel type that you built.
I built a lot of wheels.
So this is not so many.
A lot of wheels.
Not so many wheels. Probably a quicker build, but so now we got all the Yak Tigers covered, all of them. You can do any Yak Tiger you want from Tacom. Easy to build. It's easy and it's fun. Try it out. So, all right. Yak the Tiger, whichever.
Tiger.
Yeah. Tomato.
You say tomato. Yes. Okay. Very good. All right. Let's just jump right into the next one here.
What you got?
So, did you ever read Tom Clancy novels when you were a kid?
I watched the movies. I didn't read any of the books.
So, submarines.
Oh,
you can't get through a Tom Clancy book without submarines.
Ping only.
Yes, I know what that is. I've watched that movie so many times. Okay, this is an interesting beast. Now, this has been out in some markets apparently for a while, but we just got it here in Japan. This is from Hobby Boss, the PLA Navy Type 031 Golf Class in 350th scale. So let me just quickly interpret. This is a Golf Class submarine. It's almost identical to the Soviet Golf Class submarine, but it was built by China. In fact, it's the only submarine that's ever been, or the only ballistic submarine that's ever been license built by another country.
Wow.
So, now this is going to be a very, very easy kit to describe and build because there's only two runners of parts. There's the left and right hull, and then there's some other stuff. So you have, the big bits and the little bits. Actually, I lie slightly. There is a very small fret of photo etch that is also there, and a stand. And that's it.
Wow.
That is it. Now, I've always been interested in subs since reading all those Tom Clancy books when I was a kid.
Right.
I remember going through the German Type 7, I think it is, that's at the museum in Chicago.
Right.
That was so cool. Is it a Type 7? Am I remembering that right? Type 13? Something like that?
I'm not sure.
And just being amazed at how anybody could live in such claustrophobic conditions for long periods of time. But yeah, I've never actually modeled a submarine. That's it. How about you? Have you ever built a sub?
I built the Aurora Nautilus maybe 10 million years ago. That's about it.
Okay. Well, I think I might want to add something like this to my list or my bucket list of kits to build.
Interesting.
Because I've always been rather interested in submarines, and I think maybe back in the day when I was really ambitious, the lack of parts may have actually been off-putting. Because it's like, I want to do more modeling, but now it's like I just want to finish things. So this actually has some appeal for me. So that's the new Hobby Boss PLA.
Sweet.
Type 031 Golf Class submarine.
Very nice. Very nice. All right, now I've got something for you guys here. This is, it flies. This is an aircraft. Yeah, it's an aircraft.
That's very much an aircraft.
Yeah, it's an unmanned aerial vehicle. Is what we're calling this thing.
AKA
unmanned. Drone? Drone is a drone,
yeah.
But,
yes.
The MQ-9's been around for a while. They still using these things? I'm not even sure if this is still I think they are.
I'm not up on drones, I will confess. The media, when they report drone strikes, usually report drone strikes. They don't usually report MQ-9 strike or something.
Stock footage of something blowing up. But this is a new release from Kinetic in 1/48 scale. It's the MQ-9 Reaper unmanned aerial vehicle again. And I actually have a built one right here too to show you that it's 48 scale. But the wingspan on these things, do I need to back up again? Wingspan on these little guys are pretty substantial, as you can see here.
Well, if this is a new kit, how did you get it built so quickly?
Oh, that's a very good question. Because this is originally a kit from Skunk Models Workshop. Skunk Models Workshop right here, 48 kit. So it's the same plastic. The decals and the markings will be different. The new kit comes with a lot of different markings for this guy. You'd think a drone wouldn't have so many markings, but it's got plenty of them. Can we see them there? Oh, yeah. Just, look at all those markings.
Wow.
Lots of markings. we'll show you a close up of that. The Skunk Models Workshop, the original idea was to do experimental aircraft. They did the F-16 XL and weapon sets and things like that. More the quirky stuff, not mainstream aircraft.
So they're part of Kinetic, or it's a brand from Kinetic, right?
Yeah. It's all the same happy crew doing it, but now they just decided to wrap it all up into the mainstream Kinetic brand. And keeping it all under one big happy name. So we've got this, and there'll be other Skunk Model Workshop kits coming too, like the RQ4B, yes, the Global Hawk will also be coming, and some other things. So yeah, keep an eye out for the kits coming again from Kinetic, and the good prices too. Very good prices. Check it out.
Okay. So I actually personally prefer modeling aircraft that have cockpits. I don't know about you.
Oh, yeah.
So you showed us that 30-second scale BF-108 earlier today.
Yes.
And I also now have a single-seat 30-second scale.
What you got?
And actually, no, wait a minute. The BF-108 is not single-seat, is it? It's actually...
It's four, yeah.
It's like a four.
It's a sedan.
We have a DeWaltine D500 kit from the folks at Dora Wings, and they're out of the Ukraine, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so the DeWaltine D500, I don't know if this is the first time it's also seen 1/32 scale, but it may very well be.
In plastic?
Now,
probably, yeah.
Here's the interesting thing. It's like, it's a 30-second scale single-seat kit, but this is like, we're looking at a box that's almost no bigger than like a 1/72 scale, typical type of offering. Like, how do you pack a whole 30-second scale plane into such a little box? So, well, we'll take a look here. And, yeah, unfortunately, one way you do that is by dumping all the parts into one bag. So my one request for the folks over at Dora Wings, if any of you happen to be watching this, maybe you could bag the runners individually the next time out. That may help keep them... not getting all scuffed up or scarred up by moving past each other in the shipping process. But yeah, one big bag of parts here. And you can see that the wings are pretty big. Definitely looks like 1/32 scale wings and a nice large fuselage piece on the other side. And they looks to be some very nice details. So we've got some very fine rivets, which I'm sure are not showing up on camera right now, but very fine rivet work all up and down the fuselage. And it comes with some Fred of photo etch as well. The kit version that I'm currently holding here only has markings for one type of scheme, which is the one, of course, that you see on the box top, which is the basic French squadrons. I guess this is probably an interwar squadron. I think the D500 or some of the derivatives wasn't like the 50. They had like 501s and 502s and 3s and 10s and stuff like that, I believe.
Yes.
They actually, I think, saw some early World War II action, but being a relatively old aircraft at that point, were quickly relegated to the sidelines or sent spinning back down to Earth, as the case may be. Now, I believe, didn't Dora Wings have a 48 scale version of this kit previously?
They did.
Or this aircraft?
I have a sample right here. This was built by Dora Wings. They actually sent it to us to use at the Hobby Show, so this was on display at the Shizuoka Hobby Show and the Tokyo Hobby Show last year. So this is a 510, a D510, and in Japanese markings. So
that was, I think, a different engined version of the same plane, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it looks a little more bulgy. I don't know if that's...
as far as I can tell from the box art and the side drawings, it looks almost indistinguishable, but there might be some very fine details, changes.
Good-looking plane, and it's not particularly small in 48 either. So the 32nd must be a decent-sized aircraft.
Yeah. So well, this is definitely in terms of box compactness for a 32 release.
Can you get it back in there?
Very up there. Yeah. We got it on the in there. Okay. So yeah, for an interesting interwar, essentially an interwar plane. Looks like a very high technology, state-of-the-art 1/32 kit. So if you like your aircraft models big, go for it.
Nice. Now, to wrap things up on my end here, I've got something that it's pretty big, and it's also 1/1 scale. One of these equals one of these. So let me pull this into frame here. Here it comes. It's not really going to fit all in frame.
Here we go.
It's not a submarine. It's not a submarine. But it's about as many parts. Actually, this kit has 4 parts.
4 parts.
Yeah. So what we have here is it's an 88 millimeter replica of an 88 millimeter German armor-piercing shell.
Right.
This was the type used in the Tiger II.
King Tiger.
Yeah, the King Tiger. Yeah, perhaps we got there's the strike plate and all that on there. So yeah, this is 2 parts. The bullet,
actual projectile, the shell
is 1 part, and then this is PE polyethylene plastic, I guess, is this part, and these parts are ABS. This is actually the second kit they had. They had the one before for the Tiger 1, which is a good deal shorter and slimmer than this. This part was about the same. But yeah, the Tiger 2 one is really big, the King Tiger one.
So now I don't know much about artillery, to be perfectly honest, but this would be like the difference between a 22 and a 22 long.
Yeah, I guess so. This just has more zip and oomph and penetration power, I guess. Because
so
just
a standard,
more powder.
So the standard Tiger, which also had an 88 gun, couldn't fire this particular shell, though.
No, different gun. Yeah, the gun was different. I don't think this wouldn't even fit because all this would not fit in the breech, I guess.
Makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah. So it's. I wonder how much this weighed in real life. Probably 30, 40 kilos, 70, 80 pounds. Something like that.
So is there anything special we need to know when you're going to be painting something like this? Is the different types of plastic require any different treatment?
I think you would need to use a good kind of a lacquer primer to get it done. Maybe even an automotive primer of some type, like they use on bumpers and things like that. For paint, it doesn't come with any markings, but it comes with what the real ones used, stencils.
Oh, so you're going to actually stencil on...
Yeah, you put this on here, spray on there, and...
That's very cool, actually, because that'll look super realistic if you do it.
Yeah. Got some pretty cute... we got a cat's putting all this together here, and spraying, surface primer, and paint it right up. So,
Cats?
Cats, yeah. We got...
Not pigs.
No, there's cats. Yeah. Hey.
But it's from Pig Model, right?
That's a cat, yeah. Well, it's a Tiger 2 shell, I guess. So
maybe that's a tiger, that little cat?
He looks a little catty to be a tiger. This is the big old box that comes in here, so yes. So this is actually pretty cool. Large strike plate again. 4 pieces as I dropped them. I'll get you later. So we've got a strike plate, the little thing in there, the main body of the shell, and the projectile. 4 pieces.
Sweet.
Pretty cool. So
that's not going to probably be something you'd want to put on your desktop, but maybe off in the corner of your model room or
make a lamp
something like that.
Pretty impressive. Yeah. So that's all the stuff I've got for this week.
Okay, very cool, Brian. Thanks. I'm going to finish up today with something a little obtuse. What we have here is a reissue of a very old kit from Aoshima. Actually, the kit itself is originally from Imai in Japan. And my research tells me it came out first in 1979. So here you have the originally Imai 1979 London black cab.
Ooh.
Wait, Scott, that's not black. Yeah, I know. I thought it was kind of amusing that they have the kit named London Black Cab and they have a dark red taxi on the box art here. But lately, perhaps I'm mellowing with age or something. Not everything I model or want to model has to have big guns sticking out of it. And this is the kind of model I was thinking, that if you do it, because I've always loved these really, smooth aero sort of designs from back in the 50s and 60s. And this is the kind of model, that if I complete and just put out on a bookshelf or something in my living room, my wife's not going to go, "Oh, what is this ugly thing you've put out?" It's just a classic taxi,
Yeah.
So it's the kind of thing that can be interior without, having to explain to every guest that comes to your house what the heck that is, right?
Right. It's just a cool car.
Yeah. So I guess I'm mellowing with age. Now, for a 41-year-old kit, you might be wondering how the detail is. And, it's kind of looking like it's maybe a 41-year-old kit. The interior is pretty sparse. Of course, the actual vehicle may have a relatively sparse interior.
Gotta get those suitcases in there, yeah.
Molded door handles, which look a little on the soft side here on the sides. I will be completely honest here. But the overall shape of the vehicle is really nice. So yeah, if you're looking for some laid-back vehicle modeling, I thought that this London Black Cab was kind of neat. And it's really neat, that products that came out, close to half a century ago, thanks to the folks at Aoshima, are still available.
Still around.
I think that's kind of cool. So that's one of the fun things about the plastic model industry is, those tools have a great lifetime. And then when I was deciding to pick this for our show today, Brian, I actually happened to be out in the warehouse, and I saw a big pile of something else that meets the same theme as the laid-back London old vehicle here. And I just want to bring it up because I'm also amused by this thing and want to build it too. So hang on just a sec here because I got to go get it.
Let's see what this is. A big pile in the warehouse, similarly themed.
Ta-da!
I see boxage. It's a bus.
Oh yes, it's the London bus kit.
London cab. London
from Revell of Germany. Yes. Now this is also
large.
not a new release by any sense, but the reason I decided to mention this kit today was it fits with the London taxi theme. We have the London bus as well, but also because now I don't know about other countries, but we were just told by our suppliers that the supplier here in Japan, or the distributor in Japan, is now completely out of this, and they have no idea when or if ever they will be getting more. So we went and grabbed their last couple dozen pieces, and at least at HLJ right now, we've got stock of this. So you might want to grab it. Now, it's a bus. Okay, same theory here. I figure I can put this in my living room, and it's going to be a nice piece of interior that doesn't require a lot of explanation. Now, this is 24th scale, and it's a bus. So when you complete it, I don't actually have to guess because it's right on the lid. It's 38.1 centimeters in size, so that's going to be a good size model. And I was really surprised to learn that not only has this got full detailed interior with decals for every single seat on the bus to make it look like it's a fabric surface, it's actually got two different engines available. Apparently, this is the Routemaster is what the official name of this bus is. The Routemaster bus changed engines right around 1995, and the kit includes parts for both types of engines. So you can actually choose what engine you would like to build, because you can also open the hood when it's completed and show off the engine. So that full detail, lots of decals. This I have a soft spot in my heart for. I actually personally own this and will be building it. So maybe another boss builds at some point.
Sweet.
I actually want to do this bus. So yeah.
Got it in stock. So there you go.
No guns sticking out of it.
That you can see anyway. Yeah. You don't know what's on the bus. You don't know what's on the bus.
It is London. So yeah.
That is
all
cool.
Right. I think that's going to about wrap it up for this week. Then, the stuff that was supposed to be coming out during the Shizuoka Hobby Show, which did not happen, is starting to hit shelves slowly but surely. Manufacturers have kind of adjusted their release schedules, but hopefully we can find enough to talk about that we can do these shows a little bit more frequently than we have been.
Would like to, yes.
But as we have news and stuff to talk about, we'd like to continue to bring HobbyWire episodes to you. And we'd like to thank everybody who has been watching and hope that they will continue to keep watching for us, because we have a lot of fun doing this and bringing these episodes to you. And I hope you enjoy these as well, right?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Alrighty. So, friends, thanks for tuning in again. And until we have enough stuff to show you the next time, that's going to do it for this week's edition of HobbyWire. Take care.
See ya.